Hey there, Cheesemeisters, and welcome back to the Peach Pod After Dark. I'm Jeff, and do you want to know more? And joining me on the other end of the internet, my cuz-host.
I'm Leslie, and I'm doing my part.
Yeah, you are, you 8-year-old.
Ah,
That's right. This week, Cheesemeisters, we are talking about Starship Troopers. The 1997, this is either satire or it's a mess masterpiece, written by Edward Neumeier, directed by Paul Verhoeven, the same pair as did RoboCop, which I feel like you haven't seen, but I feel like everybody should see. We might have to find a reason to watch RoboCop at some point. Anyway, starring Casper Van Dien, Dina Myers, Denise Richards, Jake Busey, your boy Neil Patrick Harris, Clancy
yeah.
Brown, everybody's Mrs. Teasley, Denise Y. Dowse, and not for nothing, but fucking Blanche Devereaux, Rue McClanahan up in this biznitch.
Oh my God. No, not the best cameo. It would have been until Mrs. Teasley showed up, and then that was my favorite part of the movie.
It's pretty great.
Oh my God.
We're watching this in conjunction with Season 4, Episode 9, Otherwise Engaged, and our spelling connection are the three leads of the movie, you guys. Denise Richards, who was at Mel and Jackie's wedding, if you'll recall. Kelly's cousin, I believe, is how she was introduced. Yeah. And then obviously Dina Meyer is Lucinda Nicholson, currently gracing our screens. Not quite as much as she would like or as we see she's willing to do in the showers in this movie. But still. And then Casper Van Dien, who Leslie has not met yet. He shows up in season 6. So
I wondered. He seemed like a pretty boy, and I did see later on that apparently they were looking at people from 90210 and Melrose Place to cast in this, and it seems like they did the reverse.
Well, no, this came out after.
Well, I know. So but he hadn't worked on it yet, and so
no, he had. We just haven't seen him.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Yep. No, he's in season 5, which is 94 to 95, and this came out in 97. So
got it. I got all caught up in the timey-wimey business. Also,
I know it's tough. Okay. So where to start with this movie? Let's start here. You hadn't seen it before.
Nope.
Okay. I've seen it once prior to this week. What'd you think? Let me ask you this. Instead of that, what did you think it was going in, and were you right?
No. For some reason, I thought Starship Troopers and Reno 911 were like in the same family.
Okay.
I don't know why.
I know what you're thinking. You think there was a movie called Super Troopers.
Yes.
That's what you're thinking of.
That's what I thought it was going to be. And so I was thinking like, cool, we're going to get a comedy. And we sat down with our friends the other night, which shout out to Lima and Rich for sponsoring this week's episode because I'm in their space. Thank you. We sat down to watch it. And thankfully, I forget what I was saying that I thought it was going to be right before. But then Walter goes, oh no, there's bugs. And I went, oh no. So that's what I thought it was going to be. And no, as we all know, it was not that.
It's not that. Okay, that's not where I thought that was going to go. Okay. So you thought it was going to be Super Troopers.
I did.
Which is
this is like when Pam rents 28 days later instead of like 9.5 weeks later, something like that.
Sure.
She was like, I was expecting Sandra Bullock, and all of a sudden, like, it's just a horror movie.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that colors things a little bit, but
You're welcome.
um, yeah, no kidding. Um, so I'm just trying to figure out how to frame this question, considering Super Troopers. Um, fuck, I thought my head hurt before we started talking. This is just,
I'm so sorry.
no,
Did I break
no.
you further?
You did, yeah. I'm 100% cracked. I just is fucking okay.
This
Um,
is this is better. No, this is definitely better than when Splendor in the Grass, when I thought that was a completely different movie too.
oh yes, yeah, that's true. No cum waterfalls in this movie, but I think only because there wasn't water on these planets. Um,
A lot of bug jizz.
a lot of bug jizz. Okay, so right when it gets ready to start, you're told there are bugs, but are you told, like, what are you told that this movie is?
Satire.
You're told it's a satire.
I
Okay,
was told it was
interesting.
a satire.
Okay. Um, did did that work? Like when you watched it, were you like, I am watching a satire? In the same way that like, and it's very different tonally, but uh we know that Doctor Strangelove is a satire.
Uh, yeah.
And
No,
it's
this
hilarious. So was it obvious to you that this was a satire even after having been told?
no.
Okay.
That was the question in my mind the whole time, because there were hints at it, but it still left me with the question of where's the satire?
Yeah. Okay. This is interesting to me. So I saw this movie, I don't know, whenever I saw it. I don't think I saw it in the theaters. But I don't think I knew it was a satire when I saw it the first time.
Okay.
I just, like, it was a Star Wars-y kind of, alien movie. And Denise Richards is in it. So, like, I definitely didn't know it was a satire when I watched it the first time. And so I thought, I think this movie's terrible. Like, I think it's real cheesy. I think the special effects are bad, even though they're not bad, but they feel clunky. Like they feel like, for a movie that was made 20 years after Star Wars, the special effects looked worse than Star Wars. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it didn't feel. So I think I think this movie sucks, and, like, no reason to deal with it again. But then, we're doing this, and obviously when Lucinda comes on, this is the movie she's known for, right? This is the movie that Casper Van Dien is known for.
Mhm.
We have to watch this movie. And so I'm like, all right, puts it back on my radar. And then I see, it's a satire, and I've seen that it has, like, this massive following.
Mhm.
Like, there's Starship Trooper conventions and all this kind of shit, and people are really into this movie. And with very few exceptions, terrible movies don't end up with followings big enough to justify a convention.
This has a convention?
Yeah, I mean, they do signings and shit at conventions. Like
Well,
they
okay.
draw people out. They don't have, like, a Starship Trooper convention, I don't think, to itself.
Okay.
But people go to cons and they go to see Dina Meyer and Casper Van Dien, like, because
I
of
guess I could
Starship
see
Troopers.
that. Like, I know
You
there's
know,
a cult following. I've never run into these people.
right? I know that they exist. And I follow Dina Meyer on the socials, and mostly it's her taking dance classes and stuff. It's cute.
Nice.
Yeah, but every now and again she's going to cons and smiling with people, and, lots of excited fans for this movie. And I don't get the impression that people enjoy it ironically. It's not like The Room,
Yeah.
where people watch it because it's fucking terrible and think it's awesome because it's terrible. That's not the vibe I got from the fandom of this movie. This is people who feel like they got it. They understood what this movie was, and the people who didn't like it, including like all the reviewers, just didn't get it.
Yeah.
Right? That is the fan base. So I'm like, all right, well, if I'm in the dumb half, right? Like if I just don't get it, then I'm kind of interested to see this and see what I don't get, right?
Hmm.
So I watch it understanding at a very base level that this is a satire of fascism, right?
Yeah.
Like I understand that that's what I'm being shown here, but I didn't get it. Even the second time through, I'm watching it, and it doesn't land on me what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then so I started doing some reading today, reading some interviews. Like what I wanted to know is what Paul Verhoeven thought of this movie. You know, like I wanted to know
Mm.
what the director thought this movie was and what he was putting out there and what he thought of the reception of it and whatever. Um, and so I started reading like about the movie and the story he was telling, and I went, "Oh, I fucking get it now! Like I get
Okay.
it. I 100% get this movie." And so I turned it back on to rewatch the beginning of it,
Hmm.
and I laughed out loud.
Interesting.
And I'd never laughed in this movie once, but here's where I laughed. So the movie starts with the federal network, right? The sign, and they start
Yeah.
showing you the propaganda video, right? The enlist in the military video, and like it shows you like I'm doing my part, like, and the little kid and that fuck that. I mean, one, that's a joke, right?
They
Like
do it.
a little kid being in the propaganda video is that satire, right? It's over the top, it's ridiculous, and I'm getting somewhere, and I'm
I
taking a
know.
little bit to get there, but I'm getting somewhere. And then they start talking about what the battle is, who this enemy is, right? We're at war with bug these bugs, right? And the bugs are attacking us by sending bug meteorites at Earth.
Hmm.
No, they're not. Those are just meteors. We're
Hmm.
telling the public that they're bug infested, but it's all a justification for war.
Okay.
That's what that propaganda video, that's the start of it, right?
Yeah.
And then it like it talks about how because they're surrounded by these bug meteors, an endless supply of ammunition they can use against us, which like when you say it like that, you're like, well, that's stupid,
Yeah.
right? Like it's real dumb. And so, okay, I'm getting the satire. I didn't get this when I watched it yesterday, just now. And then they show the map of the galaxy, and they're like, we have to protect, like, the only way we can be protected from them is total annihilation. And they put on the map, we and them.
Yeah.
It's so far apart, it's comically distant. That what they're saying is this is no threat. We are at war with no threat. This is how silly this is. And when I saw the map and then their planet goes, I laughed. I'm like, I fucking get this movie now. And
See,
but
go
it
ahead.
took me 2 viewings and reading about it.
Yeah, it still didn't work for me. One, I'm gonna say something really snooty. I feel like if you have to explain your work, then it doesn't work.
Okay. That is a question that I wrote down. Is it good if it has to be explained?
No.
And I agree. I think I think that this fails that test.
because the fact that you're having to explain means that one, even you don't trust what you did.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like I'm going to say it. I feel like someone who, not even a true artist, someone who really stands by what they did and understands it and trust their fans. That's key. If you trust your fans, you'll trust that they'll get it and be okay if they didn't. And I think more and more people don't trust the audience to understand it, which I get it, but I'm sorry, much like we saw in Tombstone, the audience has always been ignorant, and clearly nothing is changing.
Yeah.
So,
So, I mean, I think your criticism of Verhoeven is a little harsh in that
fine.
it feels to me like just the stuff I read that when it didn't open, his reaction wasn't, I made a bad movie. It's, you guys just don't get this. And he's right. We just didn't get it. He didn't bother to try to, like, he said, it's a satire, you guys. Okay. You're not going to get it. That's fine. But the thing I was reading was written 20 years later. It was like a revisiting. Like someone was having a festival about the movie. And the question was like, what did you think of the critical response of this? And like, why, you know, and he was just talking sort of honestly about and he said, I think it was too subtle.
Yeah. Wait,
You
the
know,
response or his own? Because,
his presentation.
yeah, it was too subtle.
It was too subtle for American audiences to get. He's right. And so I think that's a failing of the movie for sure. But now that I really think I get it, I might have to watch it again. And it like, I just knew I wasn't getting it. You know what I mean? Like I
Sure.
watched this twice and I'm like, I just don't fucking get this. I don't understand. It's like in some ways, like when I watched it yesterday and they're showing that opening recruitment video, I'm very cognizant of the fact that this is a recruitment video,
Yes.
right? So I'm watching it thinking, are these bugs even real? Right? Like,
Right.
is this a lie being told to the public to get them geared up for? And yes, that's exactly what it was. I just didn't realize how ridiculous the lie was until I watched it again, and I'm like, oh, there's no bugs on those meteors; those are just meteors.
Well, and one of my friends was reading up on the book it's based off of
Mm-hmm.
afterwards and was saying the movie is satirizing the book. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's still too subtle.
it is. It is too subtle.
So,
Here's what
like,
here's one of the things I think, like, this would have helped it not be subtle, but I don't know that it makes it better. Okay. So we get the framing device of the want to know more. Like we are clearly, we as the audience, what we're watching is a series of propaganda videos. That's what the whole movie is. It's propaganda. It's
mhm,
the movie itself is propaganda to the population of that time. Okay. So we are the earthlings of whatever year this is watching this
mhm.
movie. That's who we're playing a part,
Yeah.
right? So if you can put everything that you're watching at one further arm's length away, then it brings it into the proper focus. And what I realized is it's the Muppet movie.
Oh, God.
It is. It's just missing that framing device where we all walk into the theater at the beginning and sit down next to Kermit. And
Ah.
we're shown that the movie we're watching is the movie they made about themselves.
Well, and that's funny you say that because earlier in talking to my friends, I likened it to Cabaret. I said, this is Cabaret if you don't explain that the villainy at the door are the Nazis.
Sure.
That they're coming. That this is why there is a dark overtone to this whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So like if this movie starts out with us filing into the space theater and sitting next to our people wearing their shiny outfits or whatever, then we know that what we're being shown is a sales pitch.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing is a sales pitch to the people of that time to convince them that this war we're fighting against these bugs who the only reason we're fighting them is because we attacked them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're an existential threat to us. Look how far away they are. And look at all this ammo they have, a bunch of meteorites.
Yeah.
Um, and and then we show the story of the movie, which is these four friends are in military academy together, and they're there because this war, and what they're being taught is that remember in your history books, democracy failed. And the brave soldiers that put in place our government that has maintained peaceful happiness for the last however long it's been, and uh, the number one path to being a full citizen is military service, and being a citizen is different than being a civilian. So there's this caste system that
Mm-hmm.
taught in school, and the only way to fully participate in the greatness of this society is to be involved in the military. And then they go to the military, and Denise Richards, the fucking hottest one of them all, is a genius. So she's goes to be a
Smiles
pilot,
the whole time.
smiles the whole time because it's a propaganda film.
Well, I know, but again, I don't think she was utilized well.
But okay, fair, but she's utilized on purpose.
Oh no, that's very clear. That is
Yeah,
very clear on many
yeah,
levels.
because we're being sold what a great deal this is. Look at all these fucking hot people that shower together, you guys. This is your life if you join the military. Now, this threat is really
See,
bad and all of that. And so you want to be good at math, everybody. Do your school works. Because if you don't, you get a 35 in math, you go fight the bugs with your hands.
and
And
like
that's not what you
the layers you're pointing out are more profound as you list them, but
want. Mm-hmm.
it just makes me more ill over this movie. Like it sickens me. It's kind of like Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. I'm like,
Sure.
there's stuff in here that I think is supposed to be funny, but uh, it's not because look where we are.
No, but that's the thing. I don't think it's supposed to be funny. I think it's supposed to be satirical and absurdist, but I think it's supposed to be depressing as fuck.
Okay, because I mean, I've had satire make me laugh, but you're
Sure,
right. This
sure.
might
This
be,
is not, yeah, this is not trying. Again, Doctor Strangelove is hilarious, and it ends with the world dying, but it's
yeah,
hilarious. This movie ends with them like, we're gonna win anyway, you know? Like, um, and so I'm with you that, like, a movie that requires this much explanation missed the mark in some way. But when you get yourself at the right distance from it, when you
hmm
put yourself as the audience in that, and so what we're watching isn't the movie. What we're watching is the audience that's watching the movie
yeah,
and being in that place. And if you understand what the movie is and is being shown to that audience of space moviegoers, then you're like, oh, I fucking get it now.
yeah. And
And it's
I know musicals that have done this better. Like now, I just want to go
sure.
watch Cabaret,
Well,
and
sure.
that's also depressing. But at least you get a first act of like, oh, it's what a weird, quirky little thing, and then the beginning of Act Two, it's oh shit,
Yeah.
Nazis, which
Uh-oh.
this kind of did too in a way. I mean, it was
Yeah,
in
except
a
for it said we're the Nazis. Like when Doogie comes out in his fucking Third Reich outfit,
good God.
uh-huh, and then probes into the alien and looks up and says, it's scared. And everybody's like, yay! I mean, that is fucked up.
It's so. I threw up in my mouth this whole time.
I bet. Yeah. I mean, that Doogie scene um is that's the movie. Like that's the I didn't kill my wife. I know. You know,
That's why he later gets to play Dr. Horrible.
Dr. Horrible's great. Um,
Absolutely.
they do the weird stuff. Um, but like him saying the fear of our enemy is joyous is fucked up. And that's part of the message of this movie. That's what it's satirizing. It's like the people in this fascist utopia don't know they're in a fascist utopia.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if we know it either, you guys. Like that's why this movie's a problem, because it's a little too predictive.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and so like this movie should sit not well, I think.
Agreed. And because I've been thinking, we've all been discussing here, like if they had just given us some obvious acknowledgement of like it's Nazis, or like maybe some self-reflection is what we were hoping for, but that's clearly not this movie. Otherwise, it would have undone everything. It's
Yeah.
not meant to. It's not a movie about realizing you're in a fascist system and
No, it's
then
a movie about
and then you
selling that system.
yeah, it's not about undoing it. It is about reinforcing it, or
Yeah.
at least, yeah, no, God, I hate even saying that. I'm like, I keep hoping that I will find the silver lining here. And I mean, sometimes you need to be hit over the head, though, to see the horrors and to
Yeah.
acknowledge them
Yeah.
clearly.
Like that's yeah, there is no silver lining. This is depressing,
Yeah.
and it's intentionally so. Like the message of this movie is not join the military and kill these bugs. The message of this movie is this society where this is happening is fucked up. And guess what, you guys? If we're not careful, like I didn't have to create bad guys. I just went back 50 years and I took their uniforms and
Mm-hmm.
I made them us. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Like that's what this movie is. And I think one of the things that the last 10 years have shown us is uh there is a there is a undercurrent in society of people don't want to acknowledge that they might be the bad guys.
Nope.
And the self-reflection needed when you realize that you might be or might have been the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that this country is not ready to do. And that's what Verhoeven was saying 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little more on top of us right now. But
Yeah.
like I saw something online where someone was like, you know how like you see those conversations that are just clearly fucking made up, but somebody posts them on like threads or something, like it's a conversation that they had with their 4-year-old or something, and you're like, well,
I
this didn't happen, you know?
I'm sure I've seen it. I don't know. I'm trying to avoid so much of that anymore that if I do see it, I don't accept it, or I don't
No, you
like.
should. You're in the right space on that, because the thing I saw, which I think is clearly made up, is someone was saying like that they saw Star Wars with a friend, and they were like, this movie is, an indictment of the Vietnam War or whatever, and the person's like, there's no way that could be true unless we're the Empire, and they were like, bingo, you know, and I'm like, yeah, that conversation didn't happen. You're using that setup to make a point, but we've sort of actively embraced a uh, a first step towards fascism around here, and it's scary as fuck.
Yes, it
And
is.
we as and I we're not able to understand this movie because we're too deep in it.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is probably where I went off too much on. I'm sorry, what you Verhoeven?
Yeah, Verhoeven.
Verhoeven, yeah. Sorry, Verhoeven. I came off very strong. I I accept what I said, but also like I'm mad. I'm really mad.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I'm mad
like,
at a lot of things to do and not to do with what is related
yeah,
or what is
no,
happening in the world.
yeah. So if you just look at the like, so I do think the movie is it like on one hand it is too subtle,
Yes.
but on the other hand, it's not at all. It's all fucking right there. Like they say it out loud. You know, they put you inside the recruitment video. You know, you're clearly being like he casts uh gorgeous people because they're gorgeous.
Mhm.
Because that's how you present like I saw him reference Triumph of the Will and how like I cast people so that they looked like they would have been the people in that kind of a propaganda film where
Yeah.
look at how beautiful this is. Look at how noble this is. Look at how the best thing you could do for your neighbor is to die for them.
Yeah.
You know, like in active combat against an inhuman monster enemy, which is
Yeah.
like, guess what? Let's demonize everyone we go to war with. That's how you do it. Go back and read Marvel comic books from the 1940s, kids. See how they portrayed the German people and how they portrayed Asian people. Um, it's propaganda. You're being sold. And that's what
Yeah.
this movie is. It is an indictment of how easily we are sold.
Yeah.
And that's why
And
I'm like, fuck, this movie might be great. And I just
I
didn't,
can't say, yeah.
I don't know. It might be great. You know,
It
I
might
think
be. I'm too unsettled by it. And
I
again,
get it.
it's art doesn't have to be comfortable to be
Mm-mm.
good, obviously. So that's why like earlier and even now, I can't say whether or not I liked it. It's because all I can tell you is I was disturbed. I was grossed out. I
Mm-hmm.
am freaked out the more we discuss it. Like it's because it's just once again, it's another film we're watching pointing out like, oh, and this is why we're here in
Kind of.
2025.
Uh huh.
Like it it shows a lack of desire of critical thinking. I have seen this in
Yeah.
person and we're seeing it now. Like people don't want to one they don't want to look outside their own bubble like you get with the
Mm-hmm.
parents in the glass house.
Yeah. Yeah.
They love being in their own little world. They want to go to a beach like, "Son, why would you do something like that? Why would you, like
Mm-hmm.
which
Yeah.
granted, they're asking good questions because
But the fact
but
that that's, but that's also part of the sales pitch, right? Like this kid is such a good person that he is turning his back on the wealth and privilege that he had to serve in the military, which is what you should do.
mhm.
That's what you should do, everyone. You should do this. Like, look how attractive he is. Doesn't he look like he would try to fly Donna Martin to a private island and bang her? Doesn't he look like that?
And this might inadvertently be segueing us into Adventures in Intimacy,
Mm.
but I think this is why I didn't like the shower scene.
Hmm.
Because the shower scene is kind of like that scene in. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Do you remember when he has his chaos as a ladder? Or maybe it's not that. No, it's not that speech. It's not that. Mm-mm. It is when He is telling the story of his love for Catelyn Stark and how that blossomed and what happened. And you know what's really sad? I can't even tell you what that whole speech was. You know why? Because he was telling two women to fuck each other.
Ah, sure.
And same with this shower scene. There was some pivotal information being told, but it's just, oh, I'm here so that,
Mm-hmm.
like important information is being shared. It's supposed to, we're learning that like why they're there to and you and at first it's reasons that make sense, like you want to fight, you want to, I don't know, I'm adding in something that happens here, like it'll pay for school.
Right. Sure.
I want to be able to vote.
Right.
I
Yeah.
want to be able to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I see why they did this now from our discussion, but I still don't like it. Them doing this during a shower scene because no one's going to remember.
Yeah. But
Like,
again, you're being sold.
I know. And
Like
see, this is why I
everyone
feel like
has
I can't say anything about this movie now because it's all
no.
just buying into this is what's
I know,
frustrating.
but it's what's interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, like the point of that scene is look at how hot these people are. Don't you want to be in the shower with them? Also, every one of them has a great reason for doing this. Doesn't matter what the reasons are, but every one of them has a great and personal reason for committing to the military to be a citizen. Don't you, audience member, have a
No.
compelling and wonderful reason to join up and shower naked with these hot boxes?
But my God, if you're going to
Mhm.
do that, level the playing field. Make those. No, no, I retract that statement. Don't make anyone do anything. But
Right.
level the playing field. Have an equal amount of people wanting to show uh, their penises as they want to show boobs. Like,
Listen, let the record show. Leslie says more floppy wieners, and
I
I
just want
agree.
an even playing field.
I
I want an
agree.
even playing field. I'm tired of people with my body or a variation of it only being the one setting up and getting criticized and being, again, it's just I hate this because I feel like I always sound like such a prude on here, but I'm
No,
fucking
you don't sound like a. You just said, "Show me more cocks." You're not being a prude. That's the
like
opposite.
I love I appreciate nudity in
Hmm.
an artistic way. This was not an artistic way, but that might have been the point. It's
It was
clearly supposed to
artistic
be,
as a club.
yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't meant to look hot, and yet in a way, it also what I mean. I would say I'm going to say it, I'm going to be really critical here. To the commoner, it probably looked sexy and fine. But to someone who wants a better story and better lighting or better shots, it didn't look great. But
Yeah.
again, it's propaganda. They only had to show one thing, and that was nipples. Or
Hmm.
two things, rather. They had to show.
Yep. But
Um,
did you know, and maybe this will make you feel a little bit better about it, did you know that Paul Verhoeven stripped naked with his actors to do this scene?
you know, I did not know that.
Yeah, I read it. I read it this afternoon. He and the cinematographer, the DP, somebody, they both got totally naked, and it like totally just it made everyone feel way more comfortable, like because they're in it with us, you
You
know.
know, and if that made everyone else there feel comfortable by, again, leveling the playing field,
Hmm.
stripping literally one layer of, because granted, you can't take away the fact that you were the director. That power dynamic is in the room
Sure.
no matter what. But the fact that you were willing to endure that sense of vulnerability that everyone
Yeah.
else did, you know what? I think there's good and bad to be taken from this, but I'm going to lean into the good. I I'm going to lean into that this was a good move for this
Yeah.
cast.
Yeah.
Again,
It seems like it, right? It
I'm
could go horribly wrong, but it seems like the right thing for what he was trying to accomplish here.
and as long as he wasn't going around like, hey, group hug guys afterwards,
Right.
like,
Right.
because
No, they didn't
that's
feel
the
like it.
thing. And I think we also need to recognize in these situations that, you know, because there might have been someone in that group who was weirded out by it,
Sure.
or someone might have had a different feeling than the consensus, and that is really difficult
Yeah.
to acknowledge that both can happen and not take it personally. I'm sure
Yeah.
there was someone in there who was like, I'd rather the director keep on their clothes because I don't want to see them naked either.
Right.
The what am I trying to say?
It's tough with all them wieners in your face.
It is. I know. I'm just thinking about
Can't
it's
concentrate.
an ass. There are no regulations for directors being fit and hot like there are for actors. So you're, it's a game of roulette what you're gonna get. But
That's right.
I think that's a really interesting tactic, and I'm glad it worked for him. I think if I was in that room nowadays, I would be like, oh, I don't think I can work on, or I don't think I'm the right person for this project. Actually, no, I would have just said, if this is what makes everyone feel okay, I'm going to check in with each person. But if this is what makes people feel fine,
yeah,
I am going to keep a towel on. Like I will be in a bikini.
And I will have my towel right here so that I cannot do any of that.
That is, I'm really glad you found that out. That is such an interesting thing. And yeah, I think that could have only worked in a group scene.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was just him and Denise Richards. That's probably not gonna. It's not the scene that. It's not gonna have the same effect.
If you're shooting Rose and Jack having sex in the car, and you're like, and you're Cameron Crowe, and you're also naked, that's weird.
That's weird. It's a little intimate there.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So yeah, that I tried also looking up if Coed showers were really a thing. I know that's apparently a thing on Ally McBeal.
It wasn't showers; it was a bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all stalls and stuff.
See,
but Ally
that's
McBeal
the
did have a
thing.
bathroom.
Like, and I know on Boy Meets World for the college years, their big thing was like, ooh, co-ed bathrooms. But they all had stalls. Obviously, it's an ABC family show. Come on,
right?
It's a Disney show. So, but now I'm recognizing too, they're showing that not for the realism of it, but for the propaganda of it.
Yeah. It's
everything I feel like I wanted to share is undone by this.
It's just reframed, right?
That's true.
Like it doesn't mean your observation was incorrect. It just means that there's like a filter in between it, and when you apply that filter, you're like, oh, that looks totally different.
Yeah.
But you saw the same thing. It's just maybe the meaning of it changes a little bit. And I swear, 10 minutes before we sat down, I don't think I got it.
Yeah.
Like I'd watched it, I was reading those things. It wasn't until I put it on and watched the first 5 minutes of it again that I went, oh.
Well, and I'm glad I watched the first 5 minutes of it too, as well as it was a compilation of all the propaganda, but I was really just looking for the one with Mrs. Teasley because I misinterpreted it the first time. I thought she was resigning. You know why?
Oh no, she was.
Because I'm so used to people hating women in this country and not letting us get to do anything.
Yep.
My bad. But no.
She was coming in because he was going out.
She was coming in ready to stir up more shit, but I didn't care because it was Mrs. Teasley, and that's the one time the propaganda worked for me.
That's right. One place I want to see Mrs. Teasley show up.
Literally cheered. I think even Walter got excited because we were both like, hey!
Leo pointing.
There were some funny moments of intimacy throughout this. Okay. we'll talk about him more and what else. But Busey, oh my
Yeah.
God,
Uh-huh.
still the movie for me. Um,
Really?
he did. I got really thrown when we found out he was Gary Busey's kid. I was like, "Ooh, I don't know about this," and he stole the movie for me.
That's awesome.
But he's playing the violin at one point while let's see,
Johnny,
I
when
think
Johnny.
Johnny and Diz, Rico and Diz are dancing.
Oh, I thought
Was
it was when he was talking to Denise Richards and when she broke up with him. Was it that?
it, it's not when she broke up with him.
Okay.
He's dancing with someone. It doesn't matter. I just like the fact that there's this romance brewing or attempting to happen, and then just someone coming in for comedic relief, like, "Hey, I'm
Yeah.
helping, right?" And you're like,
Yeah.
"You're actually not.
Yeah.
You're really not." Um, yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention too, like, I think there were two ass smacks, and one of them we noticed very clearly. They had done so many shots because the ass was still red, and I'm like,
Ooh.
man, you got to powder that shit, or like, I don't know, give
Yeah.
them a minute to like go dunk your ass with some cold water so that it like, I don't know. Clearly I need to look up how do you get rid of handprints, because
Yeah. No shit. Your Google search is going to be real interesting.
yeah, you would need to. You can't just stop and wait for a
Yeah.
handprint to go away. Like it's probably going to be a makeup thing. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so. But yeah,
uh,
or you fix it in post.
but yeah, one of them, I think it was the one in the shower. I mean, it looked like they got right on their crack, and I thought, ew, like make sure you hit the flesh. Don't. I mean, you're gonna need to wash your hands afterwards anyway, which like I shouldn't need to tell you, America, but I think we all know why I need to.
Because you all are dirty butt sniffers.
You all are a bunch of damn dirty apes.
It's a different post-apocalyptic movie.
Oh man, that would be fun to discuss one day. Um, okay, we have another weird non-love story in
Mm-hmm.
this. Much like Teen Wolf, we have so
Much
for
like
any
Teen Wolf is a great way to start a sentence.
yeah, I never thought I'd be
Yeah.
discussing that again. But much like Teen Wolf, we have one of our leading ladies pursuing. I guess she would be considered more of the supporting. I don't know. Dina and Denise can duke that out. But Diz is vying for the heart of Rico, and
Mm-hmm.
he tells her no in many different ways, many different times, and she just doesn't care. And I'm like, this is the second movie we've seen like this, and this is odd. And I just didn't see this kind of character very much growing up.
Mm.
But it's not until his teacher tells him, hey, don't pass up booty, that he's like, you know what? I think I do love her.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll go bang her because that man that I respect told me to.
That's right.
And I mean, do it for our country.
Red, white, and the blue.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
That movie keeps on giving.
Doesn't it? Episode 1 of Peach Pod After Dark, you guys, Grease 2.
Oh my God. Wow. And okay, so that scene, the only thing I want to nitpick in that scene is again the very male gaze moment of like, it's just right on her nipples.
Sure.
Like her nipples feel aggressively in your face. And listen, Cheesemeisters, we love the boobs here. Like, we love them. But I expect more from how they are documented and shown. As an owner of them, I want more. Not just
As
for
an
myself.
admirer of them, I also want more.
I want more. I want boobs like other women. Oh,
Mammary glands? I want 20.
you want thingamabobs?
Nailed it.
Yep. So Other than that, I really liked the chemistry between the two actors. I thought it was a comical first time situation wherein they're bumping into each other and like I did not find it very realistic that she just gets her shirt stuck right here.
I thought that was fun though.
It was
Silly.
fun and it was like it was kinky
Right.
and cool and I was like, okay, this is laughably unrealistic, but also it works
Hmm.
because it's telling a story. It's building something between them. Uh so, other than them making sure we saw her tits, um, in the most aggressive fashion. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm sorry. I didn't feel like it was the best shot of them.
I got it. I feel.
Um, be artistic. Let's see. Yeah, I wrote foreplay scene cool, boobs too much. I'm sorry. I
That is
never
a
thought it.
that's a sentence I disagree with vehemently in all cases.
I just. I'm not going to defend myself. I don't.
No, it's
You,
fine.
I can love boobs and want more.
Totally agree.
I want
Totally
better
agree.
for them. But oh my god. And then when the teacher comes in again and interrupts them and says like, "Oh, better make it 20." And they're like, "Oh,
Right.
well then yeah, let's definitely do it for our country." I just thought, I mean, one, yes, hey, I'm a fan. I'm a fan and I get anxious as a viewer when I feel that someone is about to die
Mm,
and they're in love. I'm
right.
like, "Ooh, I hope they get one last bang." And they do.
No, you
No.
are.
No. So I'm gonna give an example.
Okay,
Like
not
on
that one.
This Is Us. No, not that one. On the
No.
show This Is Us, you learn pretty early on the dad Jack is gonna die. And of course, it sent many viewers into anxiety attacks for the next year while we waited to figure out when he's gonna die and
Mhm.
how he's gonna die.
Toaster
And
oven.
yeah, no, not toaster oven. It was a crock pot. He
Crock
left
pot.
it plugged in and the spark. It's
Interesting.
horrible. It's horrible. Don't leave shit plugged in. Don't leave the rags out. You know what? You can die at any time. It
It's
sucks.
true.
But you kind of sense there's this episode, and it was the episode after the Super Bowl, I think, but you sense it is coming,
Mm.
or that the end is very, very near. And he and his wife have this like one last, you can tell just the way they shot it and the care that they took for it. It was clearly going to be their last time. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad we get to see them have one nice, lovely night. Like, it's not going to end on some like, no. Same in Outlander. When Claire goes through the stones back to her present day, like her and Jamie have like two more quick sessions and you're like, yes, as a viewer, I need this.
That's the only part of that show I ever watch. When I walk through the room and there's boobs on it, I'll turn around, I'll stop. Otherwise,
See,
it's a Laura show.
and like again, another show where like sometimes you get to see boobs in a great situation and other times it's just sad.
Yeah,
um
no sad
but
boobs.
that's the
Hashtag no sad
history
boobs.
that's the history of boobs. Back to this show.
Just the
um
boobs.
I don't know that there's much else to discuss with the intimacy. It's a bunch of stuff we've talked about before. You have
Mhm.
an established relationship. It ends. There is a will they, won't they, but it's not good because he doesn't want to. And then
Mhm.
when I like shout out to, is it Cameron is his name?
Casper.
Casper. Wow. Sorry, Casper. Um he he did the shift so believably, probably because it is so ridiculous to go from I don't want you, I'm not interested, I'm not interested, I'm not interested to all of a sudden like I love you too.
Mhm. It's a soap opera move.
But without the music and without the this severe close up.
Right. But I mean, that's what I mean, again, that kind of thing was why he was cast and why they were cast, because they look like soap opera. Like I saw one of the subheads of one of the articles I was reading was entitled 90210 in Space.
Wow.
As like a
Okay.
critique of the movie. Like,
Yeah.
like for the people who watched it and didn't see what he was putting down, and they just saw, this seems like just pretty people smiling during what? Like, it
Yeah.
just seems like 902 pretty people having problems, you know? Um, but again, that was the point, because he wanted it to look like a propaganda video, and those are filled with beautiful people,
Yep.
you know?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
But I think that's all I have for intimacy.
Okay. I don't have anything for Needle Drop Forest. Um, like I looked at what was in the movie music wise, and I was like, oh, Fade Into You was in this. I didn't even remember that.
That was weird. It was a very weird moment. It's when he gets into a fight. It's when he gets into a fist fight with Xander over Denise.
Oh.
It's really weird because I noted it as I was watching it. I really liked that song and I thought, this is a weird moment to be playing this. And like,
Mhm.
they punch into you.
Yeah. I'll have to go back and watch it. I'm sure that it's brilliant. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that it was like the perfect choice if you just look at it the right way. Um,
Sure.
but it just, yeah, I don't have much more to say about that. All right, what else time? Is this anyone's defining role?
To you, maybe, but to me, no.
Really, you got Casper Van Dien and something else?
Okay, you know what? Fine. You got me on Casper. Fine.
What else you got Dina Meyer in?
I'm sorry, Dina Meyer. You will always be the actress that slept with Joey on Friends, but then was also sleeping with the director, and like then you leave the show after you sleep. I'm sorry, you will always be that woman to me.
There
I
you
hope that
go.
was a fun role for you. Yeah. No offense to the rest of your work. That's what I know you as.
I mean, she's Lucinda to me. So,
Yeah.
that's who she is. Denise Richards, no. Denise Richards is Denise Richards.
Yes.
Yeah, her defining role is just being fucking hot for like the last 40 years. And then whatever interpersonal Charlie Sheen nonsense she's got going
Yeah.
on in
Okay.
her life. Also Wild Things, that's where she's naked. So, I like that. Thumbs up for that.
Haven't seen it.
Um, that we'll probably have to watch that one at some point. It's another one that it's like extra pulpy,
Okay.
and like maybe it's not good, or maybe it's like working on a level that we're not aware of, but I think maybe it's just mostly pulpy, not good.
Got
um
it.
like it might have one too many twists for its own good.
Oh
um
gosh.
but it doesn't mean we shouldn't watch it and enjoy it. So maybe at some point we'll watch Wild
That
Things.
is, I think that's another movie cover I remember seeing all the time at Blockbuster. Because it's the two women like
Mm-hmm.
submerged in the water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Who
Yeah.
doesn't? Who grew up in the 90s and doesn't know that cover?
Yeah. Denise Richards and Nev Campbell. Oh, hubba hubba.
Down
Hubba.
boy.
I'm very silly.
You are.
What else do you have?
I wrote in my notes, Mrs. Teasley, no! I feel like I mentioned something earlier to just, the Busey of it all.
Oh yeah, tell me about your Busey love.
So, we're watching it and we all first take note, like, this guy looks familiar. And then I was like, does Gary Busey have a kid?
Yes, he does.
And we looked it up and he does. And at first I went, oh man, oh God. And, but he stole it for me. And I went, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm so glad Gary Busey walked so his son could run. He was funny in this. Yeah, he was kind of the only one I liked.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Like,
I noticed him because he's sort of mugging at the camera a lot, but that's kind of my only like takeaway of the Jake Busey of it all.
well,
I'm glad
like Walton Goggins, you notice the teeth and you don't
you
forget the
do.
teeth.
That's true.
Like,
Yep.
but their talent surpasses their teeth.
Sure.
So,
Hashtag Walton Goggins.
well done.
Yeah. Um, oh, we haven't talked about the other cameo that you didn't recognize who she was. And that's when they said, Deirdre, you
Oh,
should be an actress. You are so dramatic.
it. Yeah, I didn't realize. I knew she looked familiar. Walter did too, but he didn't watch Swingers with me.
Mm.
Um, Shame. And anyway, yeah, I just didn't want to look it up while watching. But then once you checked in with me, I went, oh my God. It's like the flashbacks all
Yep.
came together.
Yep. It's just her hair's longer, but it's the same face.
Slightly.
Yeah, slightly. Yeah. She had the Maggie O'Connell going on. Shouts to
Maggie
Northern
O'Connell.
Exposure. Yeah, from Northern Exposure.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh, you should totally watch that. And free plug for their podcast. You should. They're doing a podcast about it. A watch along.
You mentioned that. Are there only 2 seasons?
No, there's like 5.
I could still handle that.
Yeah, I love that show. Anyway, anything else?
No, we talked the propaganda to death.
Yep.
I bashed
What is this?
Verhoeven and then apologized like that. I feel bad. I feel bad when I come on too strong. So.
Oh, stop it. No, it's fine. I don't think you came on too strong. I just think like I just read a couple of things that you hadn't read, and I was like, oh, interesting, But like that's the thing with this movie is like you read like how a lot of times you're like, I feel stupid watching this movie because like I feel like I don't get it. I normally don't feel that way. I felt that way this time. I was like, I know there's something here that's just not landing for me, and I'm not seeing it. And then I read the right piece, and it all went, and I figured it out. But I get it.
I feel like I need to start doing. I feel like I need to start doing a little research, at least read a synopsis before I watch the movie, which I think most people should do. When we go into things blindly, like that's usually when people come out like, I was triggered or it made me upset and I don't like when art makes me upset. Or like, and again, in this case, us wondering like, what was this? Why? Oh, it was satirizing the book, and would we have found that beforehand if we had researched? Maybe, maybe not. Like, I think whatever you need to enjoy art better, do. Yeah. And like, I think for me, that's going to include researching it more before I view it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Usually I don't do a lot.
Well, and I don't mean like go reading in depth about it. I mean like watching a trailer would be good just to get the vibe of the thing.
Sure. Yeah, the fact that I went and tried to read up on what the director thought about this movie is rare. I don't normally do that. I only do that if I'm struggling to get my head around it in some way. Yeah. Or if there's just something I'm really specifically curious about. But this one, I knew I was missing it. Whatever it was, I was missing it. And I was hoping to find something to unlock it. And I did, which was exciting and fun for me.
What's weird? And I didn't mean to cut you off if you have a thought to finish.
Nope, you're good.
I pointed this out earlier. I was more unsettled by the gore in this than in, say, the Tarantino shit we've watched.
Huh.
Because for some reason, I really don't like bugs. I really don't like bugs. I had to, when they brought out that smart bug, this is how I was.
Nice.
Because that one was just a little too close to the spider. The others, I could tell myself that, no, they are not spiders, even though...
Right.
And then, of course, with the goo hitting them all, I was like, this is disgusting. And
Mhm.
that would definitely be burning through shit.
Right.
Because that shit's acidic. Yeah, somehow the gore in this was worse for me than we've watched way gorier stuff than this.
Yeah. Yeah. But, bug goo. What are you going to do? If,
Oh,
if you don't like bug goo, this is a tough movie for you. It's a tough one.
man, I'd rather have to do a nude scene than have them put that goo on me.
What if you were doing that co-ed nude shower scene and then the goo?
Oh my god, I'd be horrified. I would quit.
And then
I
you
couldn't
turn
do
to the
it.
side and you cleared the goo from your eyes, and there was Paul Verhoeven covered in goo, nude himself.
You know what though? It actually might be easier if you're already nude and the stuff is being, this is a sad word to use right now, but squirted on you. Um, like I don't know. Have you have your thing with you think your belly button is going to be unraveled by someone.
Don't untie me.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of being in clothes when some kind of liquid is going to be doused on me, and then I'm going to it's because I know the effort that goes into between shots. All of it just sounds so cumbersome and annoying to me.
So I didn't expect to go here. Did you ever watch You Can't Do That on Television? Was that a problem for you? Was that show like
No, but I did talk about how I think this is why I didn't like watching a lot of Nickelodeon, because I didn't like that they were sliming kids,
well, there you
which
go.
I think a lot of us now recognize that's some weird shit that they used to do. But yeah, I'm really glad I missed out on a lot of Nickelodeon stuff, because it sounds like they were doing some freaky shit over there.
It was a slime based economy. It really was. There was slime all over
Disgusting.
there. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why. I have like that's just an ick thing for me. Can't do
Yeah.
it.
That's okay. You know what? We all have our lines.
No one's begging to throw goo on me, so
Yet. But like to pay.
$5,000.
Oh, there you go, Cheesemeisters. There's your throw goo at Leslie price. $5,000.
It can't be human goo.
Oh, see, now you're going to have people throwing cow jizz on you. You don't want that.
Oh no! I mean, oh my god, yuck!
I'm
Don't throw
saying you.
any real goo on me. There is fake blood. There are, I don't know. There are
I'm just
gel
saying
packs.
that you have got to write down very specifically what is and is not allowed, or you are going to get cow jizz thrown on you.
I know.
That's just that. You know what? Edict.
Which part?
The whole thing. If you don't, if you don't write down specifically what is okay, you're going to get cow jizz thrown at you. It's the most specific edict we've had, but I guarantee you it's true.
I mean, I think, was it the Good Place that had a genie and you had to ask specific questions?
Oh, I don't remember. Maybe.
I don't know, something. But yeah, no, I'm well aware. That's why when I manifest, I'm very clear.
Yep. All right. Um, so what is this EST of for you? Jizziest?
The slimiest.
It's pretty slimy.
This is the slimiest sci-fi movie sci-fi dystopian movie I've ever seen.
Have you seen Alien?
Oh yeah,
It's pretty slimy. I mean, like all the goo from the
I think
xenomorphs.
this is worse.
It's certainly greener.
And orange.
Yeah, it's got colors. Yeah, for me, this was maybe the hardest I've worked to understand a movie.
Welcome.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
just what I almost didn't get it. You know.
Yeah.
But now I'm pretty happy I did.
Like Michael Bay didn't get Pearl Harbor.
Oh, he did miss the point. All right, so I think once again we have proven my theory that everything comes back to Aaron Spelling.
Even Starship Troopers, which is not Super Trooper.
It's definitely not Super Troopers, you guys. Be disabused of that notion. Not Super Troopers.
Damn.
And I've never seen Super Troopers, but I highly recommend watching Reno 911. Like,
I
do
want
more of
to.
that. Have you ever watched that? That show's so funny. Oh my God, it's hilarious. It's a lot of people from the state. You know, it's the Wet Hot American Summer peoples. Yeah, it's really funny. All right, so join us here next week, Cheesemeisters. On Wednesday, we're going to be watching season 4, episode 10, and did it my way. My buddy E over here.
Which I finally watched today.
I know. And then next Friday, we have not decided what we're going to watch yet. We just know it's going to be Vegas related, obviously.
Yes.
So we'll take that discussion offline, Cheesemeisters. And when you show up next Friday, you'll have some Vegas-centric wonderfulness to partake in.
Yeah.
That hopefully won't be dystopian, fascistic, utopian satire.
With bugs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't forget the bugs. But hopefully we'll have some boobs. It's Vegas. We'll take it offline, Cheesemeisters. We'll decide what we're going to watch for next week. But until then, cheers.
Cheers.
Would you like to know more?